Okay. Good morning. We're going to get started here today. We are doing What's on My Mind Monday. This will be interesting. I haven't done this before. Going to see how this goes. You can get a second device if you want to. Look at the turnarounddoctor.com and go to the 74 Principles of Real Leadership tab to potentially identify some of the things that I'm saying and tie them to the principles of real leadership. That being said, let's go ahead and take our deep breaths, 3 inhale and exhales, just to quiet the mind so we can get it ready to hear and understand and hopefully have a deep discussion this morning. I am Dr. Donna Louise Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today, as I mentioned, is What's on My Mind Monday. And with every live, we grow through this process of creating new neurons, which is neurogenesis, and then those neurons create neural pathways, which is neuroplasticity. And then you combine that with the 74 principles of real leadership, as well as the theory of personal accountability. And what you get is neuropability. That is your brain's ability to wire itself to use the 74 principles of real leadership day in and day out to create unlimited neural pathways in your brain so that you can access your best day in and day out. And how do we do that? We use our amazing brain. A lot of this happens in the frontal lobe, and the executive function of the brain is located in the frontal lobe, and it is commonly referred to as the CEO of the brain. So without further ado, let's use our amazing brain today. Now, I'd like to start with saying we had a very long day yesterday, and I said it was going to be long, and it was. We left the house at 8 o'clock. We got home officially at, I want to say, maybe 9:15. Good morning, Regina. Good morning, Lola. And so we're going to talk about that. And now I had the choice. I could have gone forward and continued on with the next principle of real leadership, but I decided, let's go ahead and do something different on Monday. And I'm glad I did, because today is 555 days of me going live. And I'd like to just discuss some of the things that I researched this morning in regards to the number 555. So 555 is considered a powerful sign of change, growth, and transition. A powerful sign of change, growth, and transition. The number 5 represents freedom, adaptability, and dynamic energy. And its repetition, 555, amplifies these qualities. So the number 5 represents freedom, adaptability, and dynamic energy. And its repetition, 555, amplifies these qualities. And then finally, 555 is often interpreted as a message from the universe that signifies life changes are coming or that you should embrace transformation. 555 is often interpreted as a message from the universe that signifies life changes are coming or that you should embrace transformation. All of that in 555. Who knew? I didn't, but the universe did. So I was guided to you, and now here we are this morning. So what is on my mind? Number one, the first thing that's on my mind is I have said one loser can cause triple the amount of trouble because they got a big ego, low confidence, and low self-esteem. One loser, just having one loser in your life can fuck it all the way up. It's not like a hangnail. You can sometimes remove hangnails yourself, go to the podiatrist. Sometimes if you have a good person that does your pedicure, they'll take out an ingrown toenail or hangnail, get rid of it, and then you're done. It's not like that. It is a person that can derail years worth of work, years worth of finances, years worth of everything. That one mofo can come and fuck it all the way up in a matter of seconds. in a matter of seconds. And I say that to say this. We had 3 appointments yesterday. The first appointment was with the previous client. She moved and she needed some things taken care of. We have to go back as well because she moved into a much larger home and there are things that need to be done. So we started with the patio. Nola put the dining room table together. Then we did 2 patio chairs, lounge chairs, and then 2 other patio chairs, a table, and a bench. And then we had to go. So we were outside in the morning. It's actually a nice day, although my allergies were killing me. Then we went straight to the second appointment, which was on a whole nother side of town. It was like 25 miles away. We had just enough time to grab lunch and literally sit home for 32 minutes and go back to our final appointment. Now, this is the second appointment at a long-term Airbnb. We were referred by a pre-existing client who we've been doing work with him for several years now. So first day was Thursday. Went off without a hitch. We told you we put the beds together, the nightstands, all of that, the big giant coat rack and everything. So we met with one person. So I'm going to just use their initials. J set up the appointment. J is friends with A, who we've been doing business with since forever. So we set the appointment up with J. We haven't met J. The G shows up the first day on Thursday. Everything goes off without a hitch. So on Saturday, J texts Nola and says, T is going to be there. They text Nola in the morning. T is going to be there. T should be reaching out to you. T reaches out to Nola and says, hey, I'm T. What time y'all coming tomorrow? Nola says 4. And then we reminded Jay, we mount televisions. We don't put the cords behind. If the thing is not there, you need to use that other thing. So I told her to tell T that. Jay says, okay. Then we get a message yesterday while we're at the first appointment. And Jay says, okay, T has already taken care of the televisions. Nola reaches out to T and says, okay, televisions are done. What am I doing? Now, the appointment was booked 5 days ago, and it was for mounting 3 televisions, 2 curtain rods, and 2 shades. Nola said, the person asked, how long will it take? Nola said about 4 hours. She always overestimates just to make sure everybody is in line to give us padding in the schedule in case something goes wrong. We got to go to Lowe's, get some hardware, whatever. So 4 hours. So we're thinking, estimating. We thought 2.5, 3. So if we get there 4, we're going to be done by 7. So then T sends Nola this long ass list of shit that got to get done because T mounted the televisions. So we get there, and now y'all know me. I didn't switch to motherfucker out his mind mode. So Nola leaves me in the car. I said, no, we both fucking going in because we not. This is insane, right? I already got a problem with T because energy wise, I'm like, this motherfucker done lost his mind. It's 4 o'clock on Sunday. How the hell that shit gonna get done in one day? All right, bet. She goes in. She comes out. She says, I told T, this is what's happening. This is our 3rd appointment. Bada boom, bada bing. I walk in the house and automatically I know T's energy is fucked up, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. I could be calm. I don't have to do anything. T starts, we go in the bedroom downstairs, and there needs to be a shade put up. There needs to be a curtain put up. She'd already told him we just mounting curtains and shades, and we're going to see what we get done this time. He did, fuck it. T is a he. He then, I'm standing there. He then, it's a nightstand sitting on the thing. He said, and that nightstand too. Just like that. Didn't ask me my name. I said, okay, cool. We don't have a problem with T. So because we're tired, today is our off day. We'd already worked 2 weeks ago. We did 13 days, 1 day off. This is 6 days with very little time off. So I started putting this very complicated nightstand together. Now y'all know I just do drawers and common stuff. This nightstand got all this shit, all kind of things. We're in this cramped, tight space. So I put the nightstand together. And now we're finished with the shade and the curtains. And then Nola goes upstairs to find out what else needs to be done. I come upstairs and he said, no, while we're still downstairs, he says, one of you need to help me with this ottoman. Strike 2. Motherfucker gonna die in his Airbnb. Roger that. She already know it's her. Cause if I help him, Clark County coming. I'm like, nah, bruh. So now I'm sitting in the loft. I go to see what needs to be done. And she's putting up curtains in this one room. And then he says, and those nightstands right there. And he points to 2 more sets of nightstands. And then he says, he brings up a mirror. Open this box up and put this mirror in there. He talking to me, y'all. He talking to me. He got to be like 27. He talking to me. Okay, bet. I open the mirror up. I put it in the room. I leave the box on the floor. That ain't part of it. I'm not fucking cutting that box. That box can stay there till y'all move people in. That wasn't part of the deal. So she goes in the other room. She's putting the shades up. I'm putting these complicated nightstands together. And now he comes up to me and he says, so the rack in the bathroom needs to be put up. I don't do that. I don't mount or anything. You're going to have to talk to her about that. I don't do that. I put together 5 nightstands, y'all. Me. 5 nightstands. I put together 5 nightstands. Nola had to undo one thing because I never put that nightstand together before. And now, go downstairs. So she's finished mounting all the curtains and shades upstairs. Go downstairs. And she goes to put what we think is the towel rack up. And that's it. Oh, and then she had to put shelves in the bathroom upstairs too, over the toilet. So I'm going to put some tchotchkes and shit on that. Go downstairs in the other bathroom, and she's putting up this towel rack. And then it's some more shelves. So while she's putting up the towel rack in the bathroom, I go to bend down to get some water, and he says, that lamp needs to be put back in the box, and open that lamp up and put it together. So I go over there. I'm looking. I'm confused. I'm like, I don't even know. I said, this lamp fit in that box. Yeah, it fit in that box. Okay. So Nola hears my tongue. She comes out of the bathroom. I could do it. So she puts it in the box. And I start taking it apart, put it in the box. Then I put this other lamp together, and then I'm done. So I have decided I'm finished. It's 7:30. I'm not doing anything else. I tell her I need to go post. I'm going to go sit in the car. I go sit in the car. I'm posting. I'm doing my Duolingo. It's 8:15. She ain't came out the house yet. I'm like, what the fuck? It was 3 shelves. I go back in there and she comes. I see her in the bathroom and realize it's drywall. So I got to vacuum the drywall up. And she said, I forgot I said I was going to do 2 curtains, the other 2 curtains over the patio doors and the windows. I said, oh, no, the fuck you not. I vacuumed that up. I went to the car, got my vacuum. I started throwing bags down. So now he walks past me and I said, hey, let me ask you something. Who's in charge, Jay or you? Well, we both are. And so then he has an out-of-body experience because now he finds out who the fuck I am. I said, so let me explain to you what took place, because this is not what we agreed to 5 days ago. All this other stuff that's taking place. I said, we started at 8 o'clock this morning. It's dinner time and we have not had our dinner and you're adding stuff and that's not how this goes. And I said, she's nice. So she got ADHD and ADD. She will be here till midnight, making sure that she gets everything done. I was like, we work with Airbnbs all the time. And I understand that y'all need stuff, but y'all should have scheduled more time because this is our 3rd appointment. Then he gonna lie and say he wasn't aware that it was the 3rd appointment. Now he didn't switched all the way because now he understand. I said, I'm her mother. This is her business. Well, how do I pay? We can cut it off. And now he didn't totally change his whole energy because he done fucked around and found out you got me twisted. I don't know who you thought I was, but you've been talking to me like I'm a fucking peasant for 4 hours, and we're not going to do that. So the appointment ended. Nola gets paid. He comes back texting, thank you very much. But what he didn't understand was that when he tries to go back and talk to the other people, and the person that we've been doing business with for 3 weeks, they're going to be like, you the fucking problem. That lady ain't said 5 words. And if she is helping. With the first person, I go around the rooms and say, yeah, put this on this wall, put this dresser here, do all of this. So this loser has fucked around and found out because now Jay, we ain't doing shit else for them. I don't give a fuck if they buy 5 fucking houses. And he is the person who is going to be staying at the property and having the other 3 rooms rented out. That shit is going to fucking fail immensely. And he did not understand first of all, you wasn't raised right because I'm older than you. You didn't ask me my name. You talking to me like I'm some fucking, I don't even know, like less than a human being. And you ordering me around and you don't understand that you fucked up. You'd have been better off being mean to Nola. And we still ain't coming back. But now when I see the other people, I'm going to tell them exactly what he did and who the fuck he is. And when y'all don't make no money off this property, he going to be the problem. He's going to be the problem. So what's the moral of the story? These are tech people. They have money. They're trying to figure out what to do with their money. Everybody else was calm, nice, no problem. It's a mutual treating people with dignity and respect and everything going on. And this motherfucker right here, because he got a little bit of bread, think he's somebody. And he just really just lost his damn mind. And now under no circumstances, ever, never, ever again, will we ever work with them ever again. You want 5-star service, you need to be a 5-star client. It's really just that simple. And the fact that we could feel that he just want to do this. And oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, he took the biggest room. He took the biggest room in the house, which when you're doing that, you take the other room so that the property will be more profitable. And not only that, 4 of the motherfucking nightstands was for him. So we were supposed to be mounting TVs in the guest rooms, and everything we were doing was for the guest rooms. 4 of the 5 nightstands was for him. So what we found out was he was supposed to set up way more than he did, and he didn't. And he was trying to get us to set it up because he didn't do what he was supposed to do. And now you think we're going to be here till midnight putting pictures and shit on the wall when that was never the thing. That was never, ever what we were ever supposed to be doing. So now, because he decided that he was going to be lazy and not do his damn job, he going to have to find somebody else to do all that shit, or he going to do it himself. But it's not going to happen. So the moral of the story is, this is why you don't have losers in your life. This is why you don't have losers on your team, because we have one client, she got 5 properties. She just called, no problem, we got it. And if he had said, listen, I just got to Vegas and I turned up this weekend, and now I'm supposed to do all this and I can't get it done. How much can y'all get done? No problem. We had a person that said, look, all we can do is pay you an hour, because if we go over an hour, it's going to create a overdraft in our account. Can you come back on Monday? We was like, we got this. Did it in an hour and was gone. So all you got to do is tell the truth. All you got to do is tell the truth, and we have no problem with that. So that person now understands, and it's not even a matter of talking to him, because he is who he is, but your circle, and they might not even know that that's how he is. Because when you're around your friends, you're different, but then when you're trying to let somebody know that you're in charge, you wasn't in charge of shit. You wasn't in charge of shit, and now we're not going back. And for Nola, she said the reason why she was going to put the curtains up, because keep your word is one of the principles of real leadership. And she forgot that she had told him, because there was so much other stuff between the curtains. And she was like, well, I said it. And I said, no, the jig was up as soon as this motherfucker started having us put his shit together. You don't owe people your word when they didn't keep your word. You don't owe people anything at that point. It's, I'm going to do what I was asked to do by the person who's actually setting all this stuff up. You're not in charge. Good morning, Sabrina. You're not in charge, but you're trying to act like you're in charge. So my point is, there was many instances when I could have slapped the shit out of him and I didn't. That's because I got Jesus inside of me. Okay. I could have left. We could have been like, we done. We're not doing this. You're not our original client, point of contact or nothing else. Because when Nola saw the first person who we've been doing business with, he said, when she told him what the first appointment was, he was like, wow, that sounds like a lot. Because it was. And when you're setting up a house, 4-bedroom house from scratch, it is a lot. And we get that. But you're not going to treat us less than human beings and not treat us with dignity and respect. And then because what happened was she went in nice instead of setting the tone. And I told her, she was like, no, you stay in the car. Okay, cool. And so she found out you need to be stern, because she said everything you said to him, I said to him. But he saw your little cute self and was like, okay, I can walk all over her, and thought he could walk all over me. But okay, fine. You're going to have a different experience once this is all over and it's all said and done. So what questions do you have about losers in your life? One loser on your team, in your life, in your family, wherever, they are going to mess it all the way up. And now they have this money. I'm sure this is not going to be their only property. This is the starter property for them. Not happening. And it is very difficult to find people that's going to help you set up your whole Airbnb from scratch here, without charging you a lot of money, and may or may not do it correctly. Woo! How much coffee did I put in? Damn, this is strong. Yeah. And that's decaf. Okay. I did discover that if I'm at an appointment, I could use a piece of cardboard box as a fan, and it works really good to cool me off for my hot flashes. That was a win yesterday as well. Yes. Do you ever see over excelment or nervous energy in the clients that are setting up their Airbnbs? No. Over excitement or nervous energy? No. No, because they pretty much got it down. In their first one, a little bit, but with that first person, that was so many years ago when he first set it up. But no, they if you do it correctly, and that was the other thing, is that everybody else genuinely is doing it for the people. And so they have theme rooms and they really take their time and they lay it out and they listen and they ask questions. Like everybody else will be, once they find out I can feng shui something, they're like, what about this? What about this? What do you think needs to go in this space? And it's not a matter of kissing my ass. That's not what it is. But it really is treating people with dignity and respect. So the other people, as soon as they have a space, they will tell us, just bought a new house, closing, gonna need you in June, gonna need you in August, gonna go over here. And I mean, Nola does lock boxes. For one person, she went to get the mail because he was gone for a whole month in another country. So it ends up being this long-term relationship. So this person just was new to the chat. But no, normally they know what they're doing. They understand why they're doing it. They pick the property based upon location. And then it's just a matter of making it a pleasant environment. So if you think about renting a room back in the day when they used to have rooming houses, so it's literally because the cost is just so high, especially if you're moving here, you're coming for 6 months for work, you don't know if you're going to stay. It gives you time to get settled. So they buy bedding, they buy high-end towels. Every room has a desk and a television in it and a dresser and a hamper. And then in the kitchen, you have your own cabinet. In the bathroom, you have your own everything. So they really want to do this. But this one, we could just feel instantly that he in it only for the money. And that's why he took the big room. Other people don't take the big room because they know someone else can have that space. And so they would just take a normal size room and call it a day. But he had his snowboards in the room and everything else. So he was a problem. But no, we haven't sensed that there was any nervous energy. They're not, because they know what needs to happen. So we haven't had that experience at all. We even had a married couple and they did their whole house and it was so welcoming and inviting, and the theme rooms and the New York room and all of that. And they just, because they actually they're hospitable people. So they actually want to do it. But this motherfucker, nah, they gonna have to switch him out. And then he was new to the chat. Yeah, he was a problem. And that motherfucker was almost in a chokehold. When he told me, the way he was talking to me, I was like, Jesus, take the wheel. Because this motherfucker going to be in a chokehold, like a strong ass, you might be unconscious motherfucker. Yeah. But I took it. I said, no, that's okay. Because I even went back that's why I left. Because I was about to slap the shit out of him. So I literally went in the car, did my work, calmed all the way down, the sun set and everything. And I walked back in there and she said, shower, it's 2 more curtain rods. And I said, yeah, well, this is about to end. We ain't about to do this shit. And his whole everything, once he realized what was going on, we can end it now. Okay, cool, bet. We can end. And then he went all the way down to, thank you so much for your hard work there. Mm-hmm. Yep. And wait, because the rest of them are going to be like, her mom went off. Her mother. Are you sure? What did you do? Because he doesn't understand the long-term relationship that we had with the original client. And Nola said, literally moved into his office to open up. Yeah, A literally moved into his office to open up the master bedroom. So he then moved into his office to make sure that everybody else is just so calm and peaceful and kind. And then here this losing ass motherfucker comes showing up. So he's a problem and we will not be participating. He could say he's sorry from now until the cows come home. But this is who you are. And that's one of the benefits of just being there incognito And now and I'm just waiting to see how you treat people. Because if you're gonna treat people that you think are coming to help you like this, don't try to be nice to the people that's paying. You need to treat everybody with dignity and respect. Everybody deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. So that's the bigger thing, and that's why, Kevin, when you sent me the link late last night, I know you were like, she usually respond by now, but we didn't even. By the time we got home and got situated and everything, it was 10 o'clock before I started responding to you all. And so that's the moral of the story. We will forego food and all things to help people set up. But what we're not going to do is help a loser win. Ever. No, you are not. Don't mistake our kindness for weakness. And don't think for 1 second that you're going to treat an elder like that and talk to them and not think that you're going to get the dog shit checked out of you, be checked out on your ass before I get out of there. You're going to get read like a fucking nursery rhyme talking to me like I'm less than a human being. It's not going to fucking happen. But hey, be a thermostat, not a thermometer. I changed the temperature of that motherfucking house before we left. I put it on fuck around and find out. And walked out the door. Overall, still had a good day yesterday. All right. Number 2, the definition of success. And I've been thinking about this for several days. And if you're just not joining, it's what's on my mind Monday. The definition of success. And when you're growing up, everybody decides what the definition of success for you is. And it is a nice house, car, spouse, kids if you desire, vacations, a job, or really a job that pays you well so that you can retire and die. You wake up, you grow up thinking that. And then by the time I was 28, 29, I had all that shit. I was like, okay, now what? what I'm supposed to do? Not just keep rinsing and repeating and rinsing and repeating. So that was never enough for me. It was something that I was just not going to keep doing. So I'm thinking about this and I'm saying your definition of success should be changing. And what you thought was success in your teens shouldn't be success in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, because Regina's on the live, 80s, if somebody's watching this later on. It should change. And not only that, but you should have the ability to change it yourself. You should be able to get to decide what success is for you and not be made to feel bad because it's not the unaccountable people's definition of success. When I was growing up, I grew up in the hood, and I used to think, oh my God, the people in the suburbs and everything else. And you couldn't have told me 40 years ago that every time I see a Rolls-Royce Phantom, I would be like, ugh. Every time I see a G-Wagon, a Maserati, a doggone Porsche and everything, the motherfuckers is like doggone Toyota Corollas where we live. I'm like, so now you think you're doing something. Okay, cool, got it, roger that. And I would have never thought that 20 years ago. I would have never thought that I am so desensitized to wealth and success that it doesn't even make any sense. And the reason why is this. When you enter into Faustian bargains, you have to have consumption. So you have to show people this Faustian bargain was worth it. I sold my soul to the devil and look at my Phantom. I sold my soul to the devil and look at my 17 sports cars and look at my vacation home and look at my shit. Because you have to say, see, selling my soul was worth it. That's what that means. And it's okay. If you want to enter into a Faustian bargain, go right ahead. But you don't have to make me feel bad because you feel bad. You ain't like, and all of that. And if we would just learn to hold ourselves personally accountable, guess what would happen? You would just drive your Phantom and go to the grocery store and don't care. Nobody, you wouldn't pull up at premium times. We got a new Whole Foods that's opening on May 15th. I know that motherfucker gonna be off the chain because of where it's located. It is closer to our house, but it's gonna be a mess. I already know. Don't. Everybody's gonna be showing up and doing all their little stuff and everything, trying to go grocery shopping. So I'm saying your definition of success needs to change. It needs to change. If you think that that's all there is, and some people never get to that. I understand. Some people never ever get to, as my mother and them used to say, well, you go out there with the rich white folks. You go over there 15 miles. You know, they live in Bloomfield Hills. They're over there in Birmingham. They're over there in Troy. That's where the rich white folks live. I said, which direction is that? Is it that way? Okay. I'll be back. I'm gonna go see what's over there. I just want to know for myself. I hear what y'all saying, but I'm gonna go find out for myself. And then when you know, you know. And now you could decide for yourself. That's why I'm saying, go explore all of that. I don't have to have another luxury vehicle. I don't have to be a preferred customer at the high-end stores. I don't have to go see the jeweler anymore. I don't have to be first class going to the thing, staying at the Breakers in the Fontainebleau. And I did that already. I don't have to do it again. Once you master something, you don't have to go back. But you do if you still keep entering into Faustian bargains. So yes, and for unaccountable people, success means more money and more stuff. But then you're still not fulfilled and you can't figure out why. You can't figure out why because personal accountability is an inside out job and it makes you feel fulfilled. And that's what I've noticed over the years. I'm shedding more and more things because I'm actually more and more and more and more fulfilled. So I don't need all of that stuff anymore. I had it. I had the experience. It's nothing like when I think I told y'all the story when I had my surgery. I always used to celebrate the anniversary of my divorce, March 23rd. So I'd go to the Gucci store when the spring line came out, told them I want this, and I would pick it up on the day, the anniversary of my divorce. And this in 2007 when I went to get my tubes tied, that surgery went left. So I had already in February went to go get these Gladiator sandals and then couldn't pick them up. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to pick them up because my whole stomach muscles, I couldn't walk or nothing. So it was a couple weeks, probably 6 weeks before. And plus they were 4.1 inch heels. So I couldn't even wear the shoes at that point. And the Gucci store sent me a $150 gift card and told me to get well. That's, we'll see you when you see you, but here, just because you prefer a customer, we just want you to feel better. And I thought that was amazing. I'm like, wow, this is cool. Yes. I'm going to go get my shoes and probably something else when I get there. But that's the level that I was shopping at for them. And now I don't have to do that anymore at all. But I had that experience. I understand what that is. When I said when I moved from Florida to Michigan, I went home to go look for stuff. And I went to the Gucci store and the manager wouldn't treat me right. So I went back to the Gucci store in Florida and I said, hey, they not treating me well. And they said, don't worry about it. Here's what we do. We set you up on consignment. Leave your credit card here. We'll ship stuff to you. You pick what you want, and whatever you don't want, ship it back to us, and then we'll charge your card for that. So, had that experience. I don't need to have that experience anymore. Nola didn't understand growing up that that's not how it happens for people, but she had those experiences as well. And that was a moment. I had that moment. I don't need to have that moment anymore. Success for me now is being on lives every day, giving information, learning about new neural pathways, learning about the brain, having experience now to teach other people how to hold themselves personally accountable. That's my definition of success now in my 50s. And so you get to have that same experience. You don't have to do the stupid ass checklist that the unaccountables have said. And if you don't have that shit, no, I don't have a car. What you pulling up in? My LPCs in the Army, we call them low performance carriers. Those are your feet. So what did you roll up in? These right here. These shoes for crews, slip resistant shoes. This is what I pulled up in today. They're very nice and comfortable. If you don't take a long look at them, you think there's some Nike Air Maxes. That's what they look like, but they help. I don't fall and I got a lot of cushion in it. So redefine what success means for you. And if it's the same, what I find is interesting is that now that I'm in my 50s and people are in their 60s and 70s that were in hip hop and everything else, they're just repeating the 90s again. And I'm like, maybe I might want to do something else. Don't go ahead and transition so I can see how people have grown and not, and they want to just go ahead and be the same. And so my birthday was Saturday, and on my 35th birthday, I went to the Bahamas. I had a swimsuit. I kept the swimsuit, so I put the swimsuit back on again just to see if everything was where it was 17 years ago. Everything still fits, and that's the end of that. Now, I was going to take a picture, and then I was like, so you're going to take a picture in a swimsuit and put that, and I was like, okay, no, because I had the picture, and I wasn't thinking. I was just like, wow, it still fits. It's like, yeah, you already said you don't want unwanted attention. You're going to do something like that. Okay, wisdom. Not going to do that at all. But it was interesting to see because Tyra did that before when she was a Sports Illustrated model. She had that polka dot bikini on, and they recreated the shot. That's where the idea came from. But then I thought about it. I'm like, people see you from here up and causing problems. Definitely not. Bad idea. Don't do that. But the definition of success for you actually needs to change. So what are your thoughts about the definition of success for you? I'm going to try to drink this coffee again, and I know I must have put 2 teaspoons in here, not thinking. This gonna put some hair on my chest, and this decaf, like, no, I gotta make that again. That's not gonna work. Too strong. Ain't enough water in the world for that. Mm-mm. And again, thinking, go ahead and type ... thinking emoji. Anything, just so I know I haven't gotten the chat is still working and YouTube hasn't YouTubed. Thank you, Flop Topics. I think that's what that says. Oh, it's my notebook. Got it. Thank you. I forgot about that part. I wasn't supposed to say nothing. I did a good job on Saturday not mentioning it. Definition of success. Nola, I said something 2 days ago, but I didn't think you wanted to mention it. I didn't. Your ideal target for success will change as your health conditions change. Yes. And I have a post that literally says the things that you're supposed to have and be successful are supposed to make you happy. And then the things that make you unhappy are the same things that's supposed to make you happy from success. And if the unaccountable people would just stop and let you decide what success is, then we'd all be in better positions. But then that would, and because capitalism and the McDonaldization of society says these are the things that you're supposed to have, and if you don't have them, you ain't shit. They're not fulfilling. We've been in mansions, and people are just as unfulfilled as somebody in a one bedroom studio apartment. Because it still feels, you can't figure out why you're buying that. I am up there in age, and I'm grateful. As many times as I done almost died, I'm cool with being 52. I sure am. I 100% am. And too many times I done had brushes with death. I'm like, shh. I will take these wrinkles, these hot flashes, and everything else that comes along with it, because I could not be here today on many occasions. I think we counted. It's about almost 8 times I done almost died. So I'm good. Okay. And Flop Topics, are you responding before I move on? How about I just go ahead and then so the next thing is posture. And Kevin, you mentioned health. So many health problems as you get older are the direct result of posture. And I have found myself literally readjusting my posture because the amount of standing and then sitting hovered over on my fatigue mat, putting it there because my stomach was bulging out. I was like, I don't weigh enough for this to be happening. And then I realized that it was all in my posture. And that's why I've been on lives now, especially sitting at my desk, is making sure that my shoulders are aligned, that I'm tucking my core to protect my spine and all of that. And it's really made a difference, especially in the last couple of days. But what I also found is that when I was sitting at a desk, when I transitioned from a FOM to a ZOM at Frito-Lay, I started sitting at my desk more. And when I left my corporate job and started doing yoga, I was so stiff. That was the stiffest I had ever been in my life from those 2 years of sitting at the desk. That's why I said never ever again. I'm good. You can keep your Zoom calls and everything else. I'm not going to be sitting at a desk, hovered over a computer, for hours and hours and hours. And they say sitting is the new smoking too. So a lot of your things, your balance, they say older people fall, and that's because that core is weak, so you can't hold everything up. So do all these things that you can do to strengthen your core. It won't affect your sciatica and all this other stuff related to your neck and your low back pain and all of that. Regina said, my definition of success now is peace of mind, harmony in my home, and absence of drama. I find that I eat really well and take care of my health. This sounds real basic, but satisfying to my soul. It actually does not sound real basic, Regina. Not at all. That is your personal choice. At almost about to be 73 years old, you get to do what the hell you want to do. You done retired and you get to do what you want. And if you just want to sit and exercise and go to the Buddhist temple and do your thing, then that's what you get to do. Our bodies and our temples, and we have to maintain them in the same way we maintain a car. Exactly. And I would say even more so, because a car you can resell. You can't you can't resell your body. They are. And that's why, and I tell people now that I'm in my 50s, I'm eating for my 60s, God willing, higher power in the universe. This ain't for now. You start eating all the wrong shit now, it's gonna show up in the next decade. That's what's gonna happen, and we don't talk about that. It's like, oh, you're 20, you can eat whatever you want. And your 30s are like, why the fuck did you eat all that? Now we got all these problems. Why you didn't put that down? Why didn't you drink more water? Why didn't you get rid of added sugar and have more vegetables and things like that? So my diet has changed every single decade. I mean, you couldn't get me in my 20s, raw almonds with no salt, nothing on it, just some regular. Look at here. I got an Ensure sitting here. That wouldn't happen in these doggone orange slices. And this dang on boiled egg. This wasn't gonna happen. I ate one boiled egg a day. None of that. No hot sauce, no salt, no nothing. Not me. Flop topics. My current definition of success is being happy with what I have and keeping myself healthy. Exactly. And you get to have that definition. And it's only unaccountable people entering into that are in false bargains that tell you your definition of success. Yeah, that's what broke people say. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, but you want to be like me. You want? No, I don't. I was better than you when I was doing what you do. So you're not even doing it correctly. People don't want to hear that either. Okay, my definition of success, this is Nola, is doing whatever is your best and going after your growth opportunities. Yes, thank you for all of your answers. All right, so your posture. Pay attention to your posture. Pay attention to your posture. And Regina said, that's correct. I have friends who are struggling now with health issues because they neglected themselves when younger, didn't eat well, exercise, etc. Exactly. And that's why I make sure I stretch. That's why I make sure and the other thing is when you have more weight, and I had this conversation with my mother's husband before I stopped talking to them. I said, you are huge. You are bigger than all of us. If something happened to you, we can't even lift you up in the event that there's a health thing, or better yet, an emergency. If you need to pull somebody out, a tsunami, a fire or something, we can't drag your big ass out of this doggone house. We're going to throw our backs out trying to do that. You got to lose some weight. So we ain't trying to bear the weight of you. And people aren't thinking about that. And so that's the reason why you stay fit. I'm not saying that you need to be the exact same size that you were in high school, but get your ass as close to it as possible. Because healthcare, even if you have PCAs and everybody else having to help you recover, and your recovery time is better. I mean, the stress on your organs and your body, you got to think about your joints, especially for women after you go through menopause, all this shit start getting brittle. So the more healthier that you can be as early as possible, and then it creates those better habits. So posture, everybody think about your posture now, and you will be good to go, because I feel the difference. And it felt, this feels like, oh, this is how I should be. As soon as I did that, I was like, oh, this is how my posture used to be, and over time. So now I'm all day long holding my stomach in to protect my core, and having my shoulders back, feet planted on the ground, so that I can make sure that everything is in alignment. And of course, stretching. Because anything that goes this way, the stretching is to go the opposite, to pull it back. All right, next is number 4. Feelings. Feel them. All of them. Okay? Feel all of them. And that's why I don't particularly like saying emotions. And I looked it up. Emotions and feelings, they go back and forth. They're interchangeable. They're synonyms. But everybody, I'm emotional. No. I'm in my feelings. Both of them have negative connotations when people say that, and that's why people don't want to do it. Unaccountable people, again. Feel your feelings. Some of you have the PDF and the format that I use for, especially when Nola is still working on her feelings. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? And what am I going to do about it? And that list is comprehensive. It's got the different categories and everything. And most people want to feel the good feelings, and they want to feel the negative feelings. And that's it. And none of the ones in between. Feel all of them. And I haven't said this in a while, but if you think about when you're driving, your dashboard is an indicator that something is happening with your vehicle. Your feelings dashboard is just an indication that something is taking place with you. So if I told right now, I want to drink my coffee, I must have put 2 teaspoons in here because this shit is strong as hell. I feel like I'm drinking gin right now. It's decaf. I'm like, whoa, because it's black. So I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to drink that. But I feel like, yeah, that's too much. So if I do this and I say, woo, that's strong. I put too much coffee in there today. And then Regina says, it ain't strong. What you talking about? You over there drinking that weak ass decaf. That ain't even real coffee. How you gonna say, hold up? And I know Regina would never do that, but that's whose name is popping up on my screen. How is Regina gonna tell me in Florida and I'm in Las Vegas that my coffee ain't too strong? People do not have the right to tell you how you feel in the moment. I'm a little hungry right now. So Kevin, you can't say you hungry. How come you hungry? You can't be hungry. You just had 3 almonds. Which mean you hungry? Because my stomach is growling. Because we had a light dinner because it was late and I didn't want to get heartburn. Thank you, perimenopause. So now I'm literally hungry because that's what people are doing. If I'm having a hot flash, then Sabrina, you can't tell me, Dr. Donna, you ain't having no hot flash. This ain't time. Hot flashes only happen in the evening. It's early morning for you. What you mean you have like hot flashes do what the hell they want to do. Okay? They show up and show out and then leave. And now you left shivering trying to change your clothes. So they're your feelings. And unaccountable people got you saying you can't feel them. And when you say you feel them, they tell you that's not what you're feeling. How? How come? Why? Why is that not correct? If those are just simple examples that I gave you, but those are my feelings. Hungry, this coffee is bitter, and hot flashes just showed up on my feelings dashboard. People can't tell me that's not what's happening. And people do it, unaccountable people do it all the time. They are your feelings. That's why I cry on these lives. I will cuss. I will get mad. I will drag a troll from here to Timbuktu if you come fucking with me. Because I am a human being. I am a human being that has a human experience every time I wake up all day long until I go to sleep. So I am saying they are your feelings, and feelings are indicators. This is what's taking place. Notification. You know, if you got your vehicle, hey, tire pressure, oil change, windshield washer fluid, check engine light, which you don't nobody want to see. And there you have it. Right? You got the RPMs and everything else is telling you what's going on with your vehicle. You're not saying, well, damn, check engine light. Your check engine light didn't come on. Nobody's arguing with you for that. But as soon as you say, I feel, everybody's like, don't feel. No, it's not time to feel. We didn't tell you how you should feel. What do you mean? You have this feeling? Your feelings are making me uncomfortable. So don't feel. Fuck that. Feel all your feelings and then some. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? And what am I going to do about it? So I am hungry. I'm going to eat my nasty bowl of oatmeal for breakfast. And I'm going to pour this coffee out and get some new coffee. It's instant coffee. It's $8 for the thing. This little bit of 8 ounces of coffee ain't going to make a difference. But I don't want no hair on my chest and keep my brain like, what the hell is that? So what the hell? No, not going to do that. What are your thoughts about feelings? Go ahead. Let me know. How you feel about your feelings? And the hot flash is happening because the sun is already up here and it's heat. We live on the corner and my side of the house has all the natural light and it is hot. Over here is a 10-degree difference from my side of the house upstairs to Nola's side of the house. And downstairs too, same thing, because everything upstairs mirrors downstairs. So from now until about noon, the sun will be over here telling me, hello, is it me you're looking for? I'm not. That's why when I take a nap, I have to use a sleep mask. What I notice is you can't really see it with this background. Flop topics. I've been told a lot that I can't feel like this, or I can't like this because of my gender. I feel like I have to hide it because of my identity. Well, flop topics, you do not have to do that over here, because the barrier to entry over here is simply hold yourself personally accountable to become your best. And don't do anything that's illegal or immoral. All are welcome. So, my daughter is part of the LGBTQAI community, I think, or LBGTQ question mark. They keep adding letters, and I apologize for that. No disrespect, but yeah. Regina, for many years, I stuffed my feelings, and especially negative feelings. I didn't feel comfortable acknowledging my feelings. And me either. And y'all saw me have that PTSD moment from going in the ear machine, y'all, just to get my hearing checked. And that's what they told us to do as soldiers. Suck it up and drive on, hero. Suck it up and drive on. And I sucked it up and drove on, and 24 years later, that shit said, we coming. I heard you was looking for me. Here I go. PTSD showing up on the scene. Here I go. Like, and now it's all coming up and coming out, and I am allowing it to take place. And you can do that when you got safe space. Part of the reason why it was still buried is because Cinco de Slapo, 3 years of me not speaking to my mother and her husband, it can come up now. Because if shit is still happening, you can't get the other stuff out because more stuff is being piled on. So you got to go up, and get it out. Got to get it out. Nola, they either say LBGTQ plus or LBGTQIA. I knew it was an A and an I in there, plus 2. Yes. And so Nola, your feelings, Kevin, your feelings. And then we will move on to the last one for today. I actually had 8. I was overzealous. I didn't think that first story was going to take as long, but I had extra just in case. Just in case. Just in case. How to make it home tonight. Wait, 2 for the last time, baby. Didn't get 2. I have to keep my guard of my feelings. Nope. Wrong answer. Nope, Kevin. That is the wrong answer. I knew you was going to say that. I almost said it for you. I wasn't going to say it in your words because those are the hookisms, but I was going to say that. Nope, they need to get out of hand. They need to get out of hand, and you need to start doing that before your birthday. Are you September 1st or the 7th? Because I believe you are my grandfather's or my aunt's birthday. It might be the 2nd. And just like I'm telling you, just like I told Nola, Kevin, the feelings are in the way of your best. And so what happens is you think you're not feeling the feelings, but everybody else around you is feeling the feelings of the energy. And because you're not feeling the feelings, you can't, they're like right here. And so you can't, you're creating cortisol in your frontal lobe, which is brain fog, because the feelings are like, we hear. And so you can't think clearly. You can't strategize and brainstorm. You'll be like, dang, I know I can get this done, and you don't know why you can't get it done, but you got that cortisol sitting there. And as soon as you acknowledge the feelings, they don't make you weak. Nobody's going to take advantage of you. You have the feelings, and then you move on. This is what I'm feeling, and you have it. The document, everything. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? And what am I getting ready to do about it? So that when you feel it again, the first, right? When you feel it again, you have a strategy. So when I'm feeling anger, I have a strategy. Don't fuck them up. Okay? Why are you angry? Go outside. Do some deep breathing. Don't pop off. This is not good. You too old to be going to jail. So I talk myself off the ledge most of the time. But that 2% Didi from the D is still there like, no, they can find out today. I think we got, this space is clear. There ain't no cameras around here. Get it done. No, just kidding. So you have to feel these feelings, Kevin. You have to do it. It is a must because it is stopping you from your best. Nola, if you'd like to chime in at this point, that's your battle buddy. Here she is. I am doing better recognizing my feelings in the moment. I used to not be able to do it. So my main goal is to just continue to acknowledge feelings as they come up. So this is what Nola would do. Nola would not feel anything, and then every 3 to 4 weeks she'd just blow up, act a damn fool. That's on her daddy's side, right? Then she'd calm back down, press it all down, press it all down, press it all down, and then some minor infraction, and here she go again, blowing up, losing her damn mind. And I'm like, if you just talked about your feelings throughout the day, this blow up wouldn't happen. And that's what she's currently working on. It's like, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. No, you're just pushing them down, pushing them down, pushing them down, pushing them down. And now somebody cuts her off in the street and all of this shit that just came up. I'm like, it wasn't even that bad. You still had a space cushion and everything. Okay, flop topics. I was at a retreat a couple months ago. I was so surprised how kind people were when it came to people feeling their feelings. Instead of people making fun of it, they were supportive. Yes, and that's what we are over here in your daily, is supportive of it. Because you go to that retreat and then you come back into the regular world and then you're still getting treated like shit. So that's why people are, oh, I'm like, no, you learn how to create your own safe space, and everywhere you go is a safe space for you based upon using the principles of real leadership and the theory of personal accountability. We call it neuromobility over here. So it's day in and day out. But with my ADHD and ADD, I couldn't even recognize when they were happening. I needed new neural pathways to make it happen. Okay. And Mr. Hook, that's what Nola is saying. You have to create these new neural pathways for you to be able to feel. And that, again, that's why I am as transparent as I possibly can be on these lives, so that you can understand it's okay to have feelings. It's okay to have all of the feelings. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean that, oh, I can come and treat you like shit. No, it's a natural thing as human beings to feel. And it makes unaccountable people uncomfortable because they think it's a $5 bill with their face on it. That's why they don't want to feel. And that's why we have so much trauma, because people can't talk about the trauma and victimize the victim and all, you know, look at you looking all weak and soft and feminine and shit. No, it's just feelings. Everybody has tear ducts. If a certain group of people weren't supposed to cry, they wouldn't have tear ducts. Happy, sad, emotional, as people say, just, you know, grateful, just so many reasons, just a natural human response that needs to be suppressed. Happy, okay. Man, I'm just like, woo, that was a tough time. No, don't talk about that. Why you talking about that? Now, leave that alone. That was in the past. You still bringing that up? Yeah, I am. It keep coming up, so I'm going to keep bringing it up. I'm going to keep bringing it up until I can talk about it calmly, and that's what you do. You keep bringing it up until you don't cry anymore. All these things that I talk about now with no tears were tears many years ago. And the new tears is because the shit was buried underneath the other stuff. And I am letting it come because you're light and you're free. You are light and free. Okay. So in the spirit of attempting to finish as close to time as possible, what questions do you have? And I will just potentially do the other 4 next Monday. What questions do you have? What did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself today? What did you learn today? And Kevin, you need to assess the fear that's associated with you not talking about your feelings. Because it's going to help you, and you're going to be better, and everybody around you are going to benefit from it as well. But you're going to be the first benefactor of it. What did you learn, and what did you learn about yourself today? I learned that I can't put 2 teaspoons of coffee in my coffee because I'm a lightweight. I'm a teetotaler. Like, how is decaf strong? It can be strong. Ugh. It's supposed to be 1 teaspoon and 8 ounces of water. I was not paying attention this morning. It's already black coffee. I don't need to make it worse. Pay attention. Maybe that should be the 75th principle of real leadership. No. And somebody asked me would I make it 75, and I said no. That's just the number that it ended up being, and I think 74 is good because it's an even number. And most people do 150, 21, things like that. Flop topic said, I learned that despite what people think, I shouldn't suppress my feelings Also learned what my current goal of success is. Kevin, you said learn one loser can cause triple the amount of trouble. They can. One loser is three too many because they got big egos, low confidence, and low self-esteem. And I actually even have a video that says one thing's for certain. No matter how good a situation is, a loser is going to find a way to mess it all the way up. And they could dismantle something that took years to make in seconds. Just be like, how did you fuck this up that bad? Like, how? Like, it's just, ugh. And then we'll say it ain't my fault. It ain't my fault. And start making excuses. That's what they do. Regina said, I think the larger society sends the message that feelings are either depressive or excessive happiness. Yes, ma'am. Especially on TV. Yes. I think that learning how to deal with emotions is a healthy and it is crucial for human beings. Yes, ma'am. Nola said, I learned about myself. I used to, in addition, resist talk about my feelings because I didn't want to come off as a punk ass. And maybe Kevin feels the same way. We talking about your feelings. Same way, talking about your feelings is considered soft. I learned that I have to feel the feelings, all of them. Every last one of them, Kevin. You are not a punk. Nobody thinks that you're a punk. Nobody looks at you and says, weak ass. Look at him over there. Not at all. Not at all. And I don't know if you watch The Chi. I do watch The Chi painstakingly. But anyway, that men's group that they have on there where they just talk to each other and just say, what is it that we're talking about? What's happening? How we're feeling? And they just have an honest conversation with each other about what's taking place for them. And you need that space, even if you just create it for yourself. And that's why I do it, because I'm supposed to be a strong soldier. I'm a leader. I mean, Winston Churchill, during the Blitz, went and down with the people and cried. He was a very sensitive prime minister. And it's healthy, because, again, imagine if your car got all these, and Kevin, you have that big heavy-duty vehicle. Imagine if you got in your vehicle today and everything on the dashboard was lit up and you drove. And you drove from North Carolina to South Carolina and came back. And all you did was put gas in the car. That thing gonna be, if you make it, everything. You need Freon and all of that. Windshield washer fluid. If you got in the car and that happened, what would you do? You go straight to the mechanic. Fix this, the dealership. Fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. All these indicator lights. But you got all those indicator lights on your feelings dashboard and you still driving, walking around like it ain't ding, 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 bang, bang, bang. All this noise. Ding, ding, ding. Sound like a casino. So much stuff is popping off. And you just walking around like you ain't getting none of those doggone notifications. It's okay to put the windshield washer fluid in there. Go ahead and get you some Freon. Get you a new air filter. Everything else for your feelings, you get to do that. And they are yours to feel how you feel. And don't let your parents tell you. Don't let your family members. I know you're only child, Kevin, but your cousins, everybody. No, that ain't what happened. That ain't the truth. Yes, it is. My feelings are my feelings. And then Regina says, success is personal and changes over time. This is healthy. Yes. Nola said, I got to get an iPhone today as part of my endeavor to communicate effectively because everybody in sports has it and I have to be on the same system. Coaches, players, etc. Getting out of my comfort zone. She sure is. Now, I will not be making that journey with her because I had an iPhone once and I didn't like the interface. I think, Kevin, you have an iPhone. Not my flavor. And Kevin said you nailed it, Nola. I'm telling you, Kevin and Regina, out of the mouths of babes, that God with higher power will send you a messenger. And she said, I told y'all battle buddies. All right. I learned success is directly tied to growth. It is. And first of all, and I'm going to summarize. First of all, you get to feel your feelings. Every last one of them. Nobody can tell you that's not. Look, I'm going to drink this coffee again. Watch this way. Y'all can't tell me that this coffee ain't bitter. It is. To me, it is bitter. My feelings is, I fucked up. And now I got to go make my coffee better. Okay, that's number one. Feel all your feelings. And number two, you get to define success for your life because you're the one who has to participate in it. No one else can define success for you. It's your definition of success. If your definition of success is being a kind person, and every time you see somebody, you do something for them, and you live in a modest home, and you have everything that you need, then that's cool. I read a book, and I think I said this before. It was a gentleman sitting at a high-end table at a black tie event, and this rich guy was like, "I got bragging about all his shit." And he asked the guy, he said, "What do you have?" And the guy's response was, "Enough." and then the rich guy didn't know what to do with that. Enough? Yeah, I got enough. Because, all things in moderation and nothing in excess. That's Aristotle. So feel your feelings, Kevin. Feel all your feelings, every last bit of them, and do it all the time. Winston Churchill they considered him a sensitive man, but he had to go through a very tumultuous time. World War II was not for the faint of heart, and you need that. As a leader, you need, and Kevin, you said the other day, you're the leader of your household, so you got to have empathy. You have to be able to feel everything and be vulnerable enough to know that it's okay. It does not make you weak. It does not make you weak at all. It makes you strong because you are showing everybody else, you are leading by example and saying, feel all your feelings, every last one of them. You feel sleepy, you feel hot, all of that, whatever it is. You're not going to have no hot flashes, but I'm saying it's okay. It really is. And I'm telling you, once you start doing it, because you're talking to somebody that was like, man, please, I ain't telling you I ain't weak. Fuck that. I'm from the hood. I wish I would. Soon as you get past it, and if nothing else, think about the cortisol that's going to be released and the brain fog that's going to go away. You're going to be able to think clearer than you've ever thought before. Think of it as glaucoma, and now you get the fogginess removed, and now you can see things that you never were able to see before because of that. So if you wouldn't let your vehicle have all those indicator lights on. Well, look at you, Kevin. All right, Kevin. That is awesome. And you will keep your word and do it. You are a man of your word. Absolutely. And Regina is typing. And then we're going to go ahead and head on out. So I like what's on my mind Monday. I'm glad that I picked day 555 as the number is representing powerful sign of change, growth, and transition. I just want to come back to that. That's what it's representing. The number 5 represents freedom, adaptability, and dynamic energy, and the repetition of it amplifies the qualities of everything. So it's change, growth, and transition, freedom, adaptability, and dynamic energy. And 555 is often interpreted as a message from the universe that significant life changes are coming, or that you should embrace transformation. That's what's happening with that 555. That is what's happening. So see, I listened and didn't go with the normal lesson, and look at what's happening for you all. That is amazing. That is amazing. That is 100,000% amazing. Regina said, my brother is deceased and I miss him dearly. He was a wise, caring, and compassionate man. In appreciation, a big, gruffy man who people love because of his heart. In appearance, a big, gruffy man who people love because of his heart. Definitely head of household. And so that's for you as well, Kevin. So it's all good. You get to define what being a man means. And I will say this last thing. I know I keep saying that. But as an African-American woman, we were told, you got to be nice. Everybody thinks y'all mean, lighten up, and do all this other stuff. And I said, fuck that. I'm not doing that shit. You're not going to tell me just because I'm this gender and this ethnicity that somehow I got to make you feel better and I got to make you happy around me because they're going, then look at that mean face and everything that you got on there. That's your fucking story. I don't give a fuck about that. I will say I don't give a fuck about that and tell you I will give you the shirt off my back in the same instance. I will not be defined by unaccountable people's standard of what this box that you're supposed to be in. Fuck these boxes. Why play in a sandbox when the world can be your playground? Why? Do not be conformed to this world. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind daily. So you get to be who you came here to be. And it's only the unaccountable people that's trying to stifle you and make it so they're comfortable. Put you in this box. Don't do this. Don't do this, because it's all based upon their level of comfort. Fuck them and their level of comfort. Their level of comfort is why the world is fucked up right now, because of their inability to do the things that they came here to do. When you hold yourself personally accountable and you create neuropability, you gonna be a bad mofo. You gonna be able to do any and everything that you set your mind to, and they not gonna be able to stop you, no matter how hard they try. And think about it, they ain't got like 7 neural pathways anyway. You get to 15, you didn't 16, 14, you didn't doubled it, and you doubled the amount of smartness compared to them. You're gonna be able to get everything done. And don't get to 74 principles of real leadership and start multiplying that and using Moore's law every 18 months. It just improves exponentially. Man, they can't hold a candle to your sunlight at all. So you do do the opposite of everything they said, and you're gonna find that your life is gonna be so much better, so much grander than you ever thought was possible. Thank you so much for your time today. I do value and appreciate your effort and energy to enhance and advance your mind to use neuropability so that you can become your best and create the best in the communities in which you reside. God willing, higher power, and the universe willing, I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, safe space, different brain t-shirt. You all go off and have a magnificent Monday. Take care.